What is up, everybody? My name is Hyken, and this is the Razer Viper Ultimate. More on the fade. There one. Oh my god. Really quick before we get started, please do remember to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the video. Also, consider checking out the Twitch stream if you want to see me unbox some more products and play some video games. The link is twitch.tv/HIK1N. There will be a link down in the description below as well. Alright, let's get into it. This mouse is a premium item, and you can tell by the price. This cost me $150 for the wireless version of the mouse. You can get the wired version for $80. There are a couple differences between the two. I believe that the feet are in a different arrangement on the wired version than they are on this version, but other than that, the shape is exactly the same. In the box, you get the mouse, the charging dock, the paracord cable, a letter from the CEO of the company, a manual, and some stickers. The wireless receiver comes inside the mouse in a little compartment there. The mouse is also perfectly symmetrical. It even has thumb buttons and the rubber grips on both sides. The box says the mouse weighs 74 grams, and my scale agrees. This is still an ultralight mouse, however it's definitely not as light as something like the G-Wolf's Hottie by about 10 grams. I actually really liked the weight on this mouse though. I found that it did steady my hand a little bit. I think that the Hottie was just a little bit too light for me. I really don't think that this slightly heavier weight should concern anybody though, because these PTFE feet that are on this mouse are absolutely fantastic. It glides across my mouse pad beautifully. I'm using a BenQ Zowie GSR SE Divina. For anybody that's curious, that is the one that you'll be seeing in the B-roll footage. I'm also a really big fan of the Dpi button being down on the bottom here. That means that there is absolutely no way that you can press it while you're gaming. The mouse features a Razer Focus Plus optical gaming sensor with a whopping 20,000 DPI and 99.6 resolution accuracy. Essentially what this means is that even your smallest movements are going to be picked up by this mouse and relayed to the game. Razer also equipped this thing with their optical switches, so they use a laser instead of any mechanical components. These have a whopping 0.2 millisecond response time, which was definitely something that I actually noticed. I know that it's very little amount of time, but these switches did seem just a little bit more responsive than standard mechanical switches that I've used in the past. There's also absolutely zero latency for this being a wireless mouse. I even think that this is faster than some wired mice that I've used. Let's talk about the look of this mouse. It definitely does have a little bit of that Razer gamer edge to it, but you know what? It's classy, it's refined, it's sophisticated. There's a little bit of RGB, not like the rainbow barf that you see on some RGB products, so definitely appreciate that. I really do love the way that they use RGB on both the mouse and on the charging dock. Razer actually found a way to make a charging dock look good, so I really commend them for that. So this charging dock also doubles as kind of an extension for the wireless receiver so that the receiver can be even closer to the mouse. There's also no difference in latency between using this and plugging the receiver directly into the computer. The bottom of the charging dock also has this adhesive ring to it that, once you remember to peel off the plastic, really sticks to your desk super well. Means that when you're putting the mouse on the charging dock, it's not going to move around on you, and it's just super easy to use. There's also magnets that kind of guide the mouse into place, and those are very helpful. I have found this charging experience to be absolutely wonderful. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Also, the RGB ring on this charging dock kind of doubles as like a charge indicator for your battery. If your battery ever gets low, it'll let you know. This mouse claims to have 70 hours of battery life, which, in my professional opinion, is a little bit excessive, actually. You can just use this charging dock literally whenever. You're sitting in a 5-minute Overwatch queue, put the mouse on the dock. You're stepping away to go get some water, which by the way you should do right now. Put your mouse on the charging dock. Also, just charge it overnight when you're sleeping or charge it while you're at work. There is absolutely no reason why this mouse should ever run out of battery, but if somehow it does, like you're going somewhere and you forget the charging dock, Then you can just plug the cable into the mouse, and it's a paracord cable, so it glides wonderfully. You hardly even notice it if you set it up right. The mouse also has a setting in the software that you can adjust to where it'll shut off after not being used for a certain amount of time. So if you're watching like a 20-minute YouTube video, the mouse will shut off like 5 minutes in. So that's very cool. Speaking of the software, this Razer Synapse software is super cool. It lets you adjust the RGB lighting on both the dock and the mouse itself, brightness. You can also go in, set macros, change key functions, all that standard stuff, and it all works really, really well. The mouse also has onboard memory, so you can just download profiles to that so that the profiles can kind of follow you wherever you go. Let's talk about the build quality of this thing. So it feels super sturdy despite the lightweight. This definitely feels like a premium $150 product. The matte coating feels great to use, and at least as far as I can notice, which is the important part, there aren't really a ton of finger oils all over it either. There are also rubber grips on the side of the mouse that make gripping the mouse even easier. The thumb buttons all feel great, and yes, I am talking about all 4 of them. They have the right amount of click, right amount of force to push down. They're awesome. The scroll wheel tension is a little bit too tense for my liking, but it's definitely not a deal breaker for me. I'll just get used to it over time. The scroll wheel click, on the other hand, does feel great. That's just fine for me. Let's go ahead and hear a sound test for all of these buttons. Pretty nice, right? I can say that these optical switches for the mouse 1 and mouse 2 buttons are almost a little bit too light for my personal preference, but I think that I'll get used to those as well. I have only been using this mouse for about a week. I think this mouse's shape is also seriously fantastic. It does remind me a little bit of the Model O with the sort of low high point and the gradual slope in the back, and I really like that. I love the Model O's shape, and I love this mouse's shape as well. Its dimensions are 4.6 inches long, 2.5 inches wide, and 1.5 inches tall. This fits my grip beautifully. I know that I use kind of a hybrid palm claw grip. I have the back of my palm on the mouse, and then the only part of my 2 fingers here that are actually on the mouse buttons are the tips of my fingers. So this whole part, not touching the mouse, and this works great for me. I think that this will also work great for palm grips and claw and fingertip if you have medium to large hands. I think that small hands with a claw grip or a fingertip grip, you might be struggling a little bit here. Overall, I think that this is the best mouse that I've ever used in my entire life, and this is my new main mouse. That's it. Literally, my only complaint about the mouse is the scroll wheel tension, and that's not even a super big deal. That's something that I'll just get used to over time. My fingers will just get super buff. It's whatever. Some of you might even actually like a super tense scroll wheel, so that's even better for you. I seriously think that this mouse is the new gold standard, even better than the G Pro wireless. If you can justify spending $150 on this mouse, do it. It is worth every penny. That is going to do it for me today, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace! I put brick. That was a beautiful boop. Oh my god.